Why didn't they open up with Pink Floyd's Us and Them? That could, us and them. And I don't want to go beyond that because I will get flagged for content strike on my. They will demonetize my videos just for doing something like that. I got demonetized for briefly singing "No One Fights Like Gaston." Jordan Peele's new movie Us. I saw Get Out. I really liked Get Out. I've been hearing really good things about this, and it is good. It's good. I'll be honest, I'd like to Get Out better. I heard there was a lot of, like, some really overt political commentary or something like that, or some sort of message in there. And there is a message, but I think the political commentary was much stronger in Get Out, which that doesn't make it good or bad comparative to this movie. It just means it was there more. It was more easily noticeable in Get Out than it was in this. The message I think I got, but we'll get into that. And clearly, as you saw in the title, spoilers. I'll try to go and be spoiler-y for a while, and then I'll let you know when I'm going to spoilers. No, it's obviously you've seen the trailer. Family with Lupita Nyong'o, with the guy who played M'Baku, whose name I forget, and their kid. They go to a lake house. And there's these doppelgangers of them that are trying to kill them, and the question is, who are they? Why are they doing what they're doing? And where this movie really does, first of all, the performances are great, particularly because the actors pretty much have to dual perform. They have to dual perform their normal selves and as they're known as the tethered, is what the people who worked on the film called them. They are called the tethered. And I believe they do use the term in the film at one point. And they do some really good acting, particularly because the guys, apparently, like the adult men in the family, only go, like Odd Job from Jason from Goldfinger, just, I'm still training on my psychology. But, Lupita Nyong'o particularly, because she's really the only one of them who has lines on both sides. Obviously, her character and the family has lines, and the alternate version of her is the one that talks, be careful. But he talks in this very hoarse, raspy, just what happened to you voice. And in the movie, she gives a minor explanation, but then we get a more or less explanation of what is going on. Although I am questioning a couple things still. Again, we'll get to that when I talk about spoilers. I will say this about it, and this might just because I've seen a lot of movies in my time. I actually picked out what was going on. Because a couple thoughts went through my mind. Because at one point you see a guy having like a Bible verse, 11:11. I can't remember if it was like it wasn't Genesis. Anyway, it was like a Bible verse 11:11. You see these rabbits. The rabbits are in the trailer too, but you see this wall of rabbits in the beginning. And I'm like, in the back of my head real quick, I'm seeing all these rabbits. Is that what it is? But does that explain everything else? And eventually it kind of is explained. And yeah, it was what I had actually thought it might have been in the beginning. Again, all the actors are good. There is some brutal stuff in this scene. There is some brutal stuff in the movie. There's some brutal stuff. God, the father's duplicate gets freaking chopped up in an off-board. God, he gets his leg messed up early on in the film by his doppelganger. The daughter of the family, her face is just dark eyes, like sunken in eyes. The kid of the family is just a little wild child, likes fire. I will say, there's this other family we see in the trailer, and I'm like, I know that something's going to happen to them. I do know that. But how does it get resolved? And no, it literally takes, you get this moment of them just looking around saying, oh, there's nothing out there. And then the two daughters just get stabbed in the throat with scissors. The husband and the wife is just, then she gets her throat. So it's really brutal. There's some brutality in this film. And I will say for the first, up until up until the family shows up, the tethered family, the alternate family shows up, Yeah, they do a good job, the creep factor, particularly early on in the movie, because some of it's told in flashbacks to when she first encountered. You were seeing in the trailer the young, I can't remember her name, Lupita Nyong'o's character meets her alternate self at a carnival, and we see that in the trailer. It's the two little girls looking at each other because there's no little girls in the film. So I'm like, okay, no, that's the alternate version of her. Okay, and throughout the majority of the movie until we get near the end, I'm like, there's a couple scenes that I haven't that are in the trailer that I haven't seen yet, and I'll really get into this when I talk about the twists and what really is going on in a little bit, but there's a few hints at what might be going on with Lupita Nyong'o's character. And then we'll find out what is going on with her. I'm like, okay, they're doing that route. Okay, that's interesting. Because it is interesting too. Okay, when we really dive into it, which again, I want to try to be non-spoilery. The dialogue. Here's the thing about this: the dialogue is really good in this because they do just enough to make it creepy, make it tense, but then they'll throw a laugh in there. Then they're like, okay. All right, that's a good laugh. So the dialogue's good. The action, when we do have, it's not a lot. This isn't an action movie. This is a psychological horror thriller. Very much, but there's laughs in there to kind of ease the tension. There's some scenes of action, definitely. You do care for this family because it's like, they don't want to be dealing with this shit. It's just a family trying to, get by. Absolutely. Is there anything else I can talk about before going into spoilers? I mean, the soundtrack when it's, on. Oh, yeah, they're talking about good vibrations. In the other couple's house, their friends who are getting slaughtered. Say, God, the police! Like, playing the police. Playing F the police. But, hey, Dre, I got something to say. Then she gets axed off by them. So, yeah, the soundtrack's really good. Again, I will say, though, leading into spoilers, I think one of the reasons I didn't enjoy this as much as Get Out was due to the twist. Not the twist, but the reveal. The twist, I could actually be like, But because I did call it in my head, basically near the beginning of the film, when it actually is revealed that's what was going on, I'm like, let's just get into it. So, throughout the movie, we're given this idea of what might be going on. They talk about Hands Across America, and we see that, and that's honestly what all these duplicates are actually doing, is Hands Across America, which I don't quite get that. And there was one line where she goes, "We're Americans." I'm like, I legitimately don't know. I'm like, you're people, you have rights too, because you do exist, but I get where they're trying to go with that, but I'm like, that didn't quite add up in my mind. But what we get to reveal is that they're clones. They reveal that there is a lab underneath the amusement park at the beach where these clones were made, eating raw rabbit, given scissors for their present. Then she goes into an explanation about this. But they were down there so long they went mad, which is why they are, like, psychotic, which is why they are the way they are. And a lot of them are tethered. The tethered thing is due to the fact that they actually will mimic the movements of others, is what goes on. So, if you move backwards, they'll move backwards. As long as you're, like, kind of within the same vicinity. They can move on their own accord, but to a certain degree, they will also move to your own accord. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, the clone thing, I'm like, and this is the part I'm like, clones? I mean, look, I get it. We can clone things. We've cloned sheep. We've cloned rabbits. I'm pretty sure we can clone pretty much anything we can theoretically clone. I don't know if human cloning has been attempted yet. I honestly don't know if that has. And this is asking the idea of what if? Remember, it's taking place in modern day. The present is taking place in modern day. So in this case, it's 2019 in the movie. I can't remember. This was like in the 80s because she gets a shirt that says Thriller as a kid. How old is Lupita? Lupita Nyong'o, to the best of my knowledge, is what, like in her 30s? Or is she in her 40s? Because if she's in her 40s, she's like damn good for 40s. Let's just, I'm trying to figure out, because age-wise, that would put her easy. Oh, no, that put her in her mid-30s. Okay, well, no. 1, 2, 29. No, yeah, that would put her in her mid-30s. All right, well, no, she's like, I keep going, well, yeah, but no, because she was already, like, they don't say how old she was then. But she looks at least in, like, the 7 or 8 year range, at least. Even if I scale her up to 10, that means she's 10 in the 80s. Even if let's even say it's 89. So that means she's 10 at 1989. That means that means she's 40 in the present day. And maybe Lupita Nyong'o is. I'm just saying it doesn't line up she doesn't look 40. That's the thing I'm trying to get at, is that she doesn't look it. So it doesn't quite add up in my mind. Like, the math doesn't coincide. But whatever. So there's that. Also, they had just all this excess DNA. I mean, granted, that the DNA wouldn't be hard to get. We'd get blood all the time. We, take samples and stuff. So anyone who's doing these experiments could just go to any hospital and pick up DNA. But the question is we don't know if there's DNA of literally everyone, because it's literally Hands Across America. So it's implied there's that many people. Because at the end of the movie, we see them stretching across America. Is there really that many people? And they have to eat eventually. We do see the fact that they eat raw rabbit, but they do have to eat eventually. So, and we see helicopters, so I'm like, eventually they're probably going to get gunned down. So this epidemic will probably be taking care of itself. But the twist that happens after that is, because there's a scene in the trailer, and we see it. There's two scenes. One where you see the young version of Lupita Nyong'o walking through the hall of where she was kept as the clone, the clone one, and the creepy smile and all that. And one is where she basically attacks the original self. I'm like, that scene's not in the trailer. And then so finally, when she kills her doppelganger, we watch her kind of just start and go. It's like, did she just crack? And then she goes to find her son. I'm like, oh, okay, no, she's good. She's good. But that wasn't the first time we saw something similar to that happen. When she killed a different doppelganger of her, we saw her briefly kind of crack, like they're going, like that, for a level, like, okay. And I didn't quite know where I was going. And this idea hadn't occurred in my mind. I'm like wondering why it didn't. What had happened was that scene is in the movie. She swapped places with the original. The Lupita Nyong'o we get at the end of in this movie is the Lupita Nyong'o, is the clone. She escaped and replaced herself. So the duplicate Lupita Nyong'o is actually the original. And the reason she's so hoarse is because the other one crushed her vocal cords a bit. So she was forced to switch places. And because of that, even though she, switched and everything along those lines, she didn't end up crazy like the rest of them. I mean, she was still obviously crazy to some extent, but she was able to move past it, at least on some level. It was always going to be there, and it's still obviously there, but she moves past it. And I'm like, okay, I like that twist. I do like that twist. But all you would have had, I don't know how I like the clone twist. Because I predicted it in my head. I'm like, clones? And the way they explained, like, back in the 80s, we really had that happen? I mean, obviously we didn't, but really? So, I don't know how I actually feel about the clone twist. The alternate, the fake out with Lupita Nyong'o, I actually don't mind that one. I think that's actually a pretty good twist. So, yeah, when I say go see it? Absolutely, go see it. It was good. It was very good. Was there did I have maybe some plot issues with it? Sure, I could say that. Nothing that's really detrimental to the movie, but stuff that I'm just like not fully on board on. Some lines here, they're like, ugh. And then they just get scenes where they're, despite the fact that they're like, this is the first time they've had to kill the son, killed the kid, the little kid, son who's like maybe 6 or 8 to 10. The daughter's like 16. The dad, and obviously Lupita Nyong'o, who has clearly killed before. All of them who have killed, who have never killed before, suddenly they're just killing and they're just fine with it. The shock of it. Yeah, let's just chalk it up to the shock. They're fine with it. They're fine. They're fine. So, yeah. I do recommend this movie highly. Best of Enemies. It's that one where you get Sam Rockwell and, Taraji P. Henson actually, talking about the movie and the actual story. And that looks good. The Curse of La Llorona. If I can get to see it, if there's nothing else coming out that week, yeah, I'll get around to seeing it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I watched the trailer for that earlier today, or was it either yesterday or today. I am down for that. I love Quentin Tarantino. John Wick, Chapter 3, the newest trailer. I own the first two. I love the first two. Sign me up for this. Absolutely. Lucy in the Sky. Now, this is not based off true story as far as I know, but it's interesting. It's about an astronaut who comes home and is kind of like in a surreal mode of like thinking where everything's now so insignificant and small. She ends up having an affair with a fellow astronaut and she can't really distinguish reality at some points. Interesting. It's got Natalie Portman, John Hamm's in there, so yeah, that's interesting. Little. It doesn't look terrible. I can say that. There was a brief little snippet for Hellboy, not an actual trailer, but brief snippet. I'm down for Hellboy. Ma with Octavia Spencer. That looks unsettling. That just is unsettling. Octavia Spencer is a fantastic actress, and that was unsettling. And it's probably going to be a good movie, and I'm probably going to see it. And I don't hate horror movies. I'm just not a big horror movie guy. Like when I think I like monster movies. Godzilla, I'm gonna be there for. If they made tell me there was a new killer animal movie coming out on the big screen, I'd be there. I love killer animal movies. I love monster movies. Tremors all the way, man. Alien movies. I love all that stuff. This I like because it was well written, well acted, all that. I'm not big on like slashers or psychological thrillers very often, or ghost movies. I can't stand ghost movies, honestly. Not because they're scary, but because they're stupid. I find most supernatural movies stupid. But whatever. Some can work. That's why I do go see them. Booksmart. This one I don't know anything about, or hadn't heard anything about anyway. These girls are in high school graduating. They realize they haven't done anything exciting, and one's like, "Well, yeah, but what is what would doing anything dangerous accomplish?" Yeah, all those guys who messed up, who partied hard and got drunk and wasted, are still getting into good schools. So they're making like a vow to basically just go wild. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on Get Out Part 2. Now, Us. That's my thoughts on Us. I liked Us. Us was good. I liked it a lot. Is it fantastic? No, I think I like Get Out better, but Us was good. And Jordan Peele's 2 for 2. Now he's doing The Twilight Zone again. I'm down. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. It's still a week of what if, so keep your eyes out for that. I got a who would win tomorrow. Box office on Sunday. Anything else I got planned? Don't think I got anything else. Smacking my lips too much. Even I'm noticing that. Don't think I got anything else planned. I am going to be doing nothing. Well, actually, I got to check if PAX East is this weekend. If PAX East is this weekend, then I will be having some magic videos up. But otherwise, next week is Dumbo. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you folks next time. Later.